Nancy Reagan laid to rest. America says its final goodbye to one of the most influential first ladies in our history. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Samantha Harris is here with me.
Yeah, and about 1,000 people were invited to her funeral today, including 4 first ladies. And after days of public viewings, Nancy is back beside her beloved husband, President Ronald Reagan.
Kevin Frazier is there with our exclusive coverage.
Today we honor a woman who really just provided so much to our country.
What do you remember most about Nancy Reagan?
Well, on the personal front, she was always so gracious and welcoming to me. But I also remember her strength and her resolve following the attempted assassination of her husband. You know, she really helped to guide our country through that time.
When my father was shot and my mother rushed to the hospital, they at first wouldn't let her see him. "I have to," she said. "You don't understand how it is with us."
The First Lady service was packed with celebrities: Tom Selleck, Angelica Houston, Katie Couric, and Mr. T. Melissa Rivers hugged John Stamos before the ceremony, and Arnold Schwarzenegger sat with his estranged wife, Maria Shriver.
She did love a party, and she would want this to be a party. This is not a tragedy. This is a celebration.
It was interesting that 2 of the journalists who covered Nancy Reagan during her years in the White House were also part of the service. Diane Sawyer read from the Gospel.
The word of the Lord.
And Tom Brokaw.
So God bless Nancy. Mrs. Ronald Reagan, First Lady, and the unlikely friend of a reporter. Thank you, Nancy.
Mrs. Clinton is one of 4 First Ladies who attended Nancy Reagan's funeral. Michelle Obama, Laura Bush, and Rosalind Carter also made the trip to the Reagan Library. What does it mean to see those other women who understand what it's like to be in one of the most pressure-packed positions in the world?
I admire each of these women. There's no guidebook about how you go be a First Lady. There are extraordinary contributions from each of the women that I'll be sitting with today at the service, and I couldn't be more privileged to be among them.
Today's service was planned down to the smallest detail by the First Lady herself. And her one most important request is that she be laid to rest just inches from her husband, former President Reagan, in a hillside tomb facing the Pacific Ocean.
Most importantly, she will once again lay down beside the man who was the love of her life, the one she loved till the end of her days. They will watch the sun drop over the hills in the west toward the sea. My father will tell her that the lights below are her jewels.
They just were madly in love, I think, from the very beginning until, I'm sure, the very last minute. Her steady support of him as her husband, as our president, was so incredibly inspiring.